Hey guys! So for today's video, I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about what it was like being pregnant at 15, 16 years old and being a teen mom. Basically, my situation up until I had my second child, Faith. So this is basically about Serenity, but the way that I tell these stories, I guess, it's how I remember them. I don't want to offend anyone, so I guess kind of watch at your own risk. But if you like the video, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below any feedback, or if you have any questions that I didn't answer in the video, I'll get to those as well. So yeah. My makeup done, as you can see. I just wanted to do a quick video talking about when I was pregnant as a teenager. I actually just tried to film this while doing this makeup look, but I get too distracted, so I figured I would just sit here and talk to you guys today and tell you, like I said, about my teen pregnancy. Okay. So, when I was 15 years old, I lost my virginity. The same night that I lost my virginity, I got pregnant. This happened during Christmas break of 2008. My daughter was born in 2009. But, yeah. So, I guess we'll start with how I found out I was pregnant. Okay, that was the insurance company. Alright, so since I didn't get into it. So, I kind of found out I was pregnant because it had been 2-3 weeks. And then I started noticing that I was having to pee a lot more. I've always been able to hold it for hours. I don't know. I know it's not healthy, but I couldn't do that. And I would tell my friends this, and they're like, well, maybe you're just noticing stuff that you didn't before. I don't know. Maybe you're just overthinking it, stressing out about it. And then I was late. So I was like, well, I haven't gotten my period. And they're like, you're stressed. It's fine. And I'm like, no. I've never been late before. So my friend Brittany and we went to Walgreens one day. We had walked there because my house was within walking distance of everything. We walked there and bought a test. Then we walked across the street to McDonald's and took the test in their bathroom. It's funny though because I have 3 kids now. Each one of those kids, I took my test in a McDonald's bathroom. 2 of the times it was because I worked at McDonald's. Well, the second one it was because I worked at McDonald's, but my husband worked there too. He was a manager. So I had went to see him and let him know that, hey, I think I'm pregnant. And I took the test in the bathroom there, came out and showed him. But then the second time, it was technically a Walmart bathroom, but it was while I worked at McDonald's. And my McDonald's was in Walmart, so it was my option. But yeah, I just think that's kind of funny. But anyway, we took the test at the McDonald's bathroom, got something to eat, blah, blah. Came back positive, obviously. So then we went home. We texted baby daddy, and he said, if this is a joke, it isn't funny. So finally we convinced him. After I was like, do you want to watch me pee on the stick? I don't know what you want. Well, then this girl that we weren't real close, but at the time, because this was 10th grade, she was the only person I knew that had a car. So, she drove me to a clinic that did free pregnancy tests. They did the pregnancy test. It came back positive. They gave me a temporary Medicaid form that I never used. I took the prenatal vitamins that they gave me until I ran out of those. Yeah, like, I think I was getting sick every day. I had really bad morning sickness, and I would get sick like at the same time every day on the way to school, and then a few times throughout the day. I think my stepmom picked me up from school one time because the only people that knew I was pregnant were my friends and like the people around school that had heard like rumors. But I hid it from my parents. They had no idea. I was absolutely terrified, and my stepmom had her first baby at 15, so like it just was bad. But in my defense, me and my friend Justin had went to her like a year before that and was talking to her about birth control, and she said no. She said, I can't put you on birth control because if I do, that's giving you permission to have sex. And I mean, I'm sorry, but kids don't ask for permission to have sex. So if they're coming to you about birth control, I'd probably put them on it. That way you'd be safe, not sorry. But that's just me. Yeah. So they didn't find out until I was like 16 weeks along. My stepmom had came into my room one morning while I was getting ready for school, and she just looked at me and she goes, you're pregnant. And I just started crying. I couldn't even deny it. She said, I know because I've noticed you've been getting sick. You haven't been using any pads or tampons or anything like that. She's like, so whose is it? And I told her whose it was. Her and my dad were not happy because I was not allowed to date until I was 16. Obviously, I didn't listen. I was a bad kid. Or just really sneaky. Either way, not a good trait. But yeah, so I told them, and whenever they had told me that I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16, when I turned 16, because I was 16 before they found out, they said that if someone wanted to take me on a date, they had to come in and ask my dad for permission. And he said, make sure he doesn't come and ask me because it's going to be a no. He's like, I do not like him. He will not be able to take you on a date. I don't know if that subconsciously had something to do with my decision to actually sleep with him, but I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I had turned him down multiple times. And then the last time I turned him down, he said, oh, I'm just going to go kill myself because no one wants to be with me. Even though he had like 4 other girlfriends. But, you know, teenage boys make no sense. Teenage girls are naive. So he said that, and I obviously automatically changed my mind and was like, okay, I'll give you a chance. Well, a couple weeks later, he talked me into giving him my virginity, and then he didn't talk to me for like 3 or 4 days, and then he got mad at me and broke up with me because I was trying to get a hold of him. He said I was crazy. So no, he only wanted my virginity, and that was the only thing he was interested in. After my parents found out, I had a doctor's appointment, and then after that, I had my first ultrasound, and my ultrasound was when I got to find out that I was having a girl. So I got to find out what I was having the very first ultrasound I had. So I was pretty excited about that. My parents were mad at first, but they got over it really quickly. They were great. My stepmom, which she's my ex-stepmom now, but she basically used my pregnancy to feed her food cravings, because it'd be like random times. Like I remember once it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. She's like, you want a Big Mac, don't you? And I was like, what? And she's like, let's go get a Big Mac. And so we went and got Big Macs and chocolate shakes and stuff like that from McDonald's. That's just one example that I could think of. But Yeah, so then summer, I got to spend like that summer with my friends. My friend Justin, whenever, well, I think this was when I went on homebound, because I only went to school for like 2 weeks at the beginning of my junior year and then got put on homebound. And my friends were great during that time. Like my friend Justin, she threw me a baby shower. She had bought me flowers. She took me out to eat at a steakhouse. Like, my friends were the most supportive people during this time. My friend Brittany was there through everything. And the day that I went into labor, she couldn't get to my house because her parents wouldn't let her. So she sent her boyfriend over to spend time with me and make sure I was okay. Well, he gets there, and he was probably there for like 30 minutes whenever I had went to go check on something my dad was doing and fell to the ground. So my dad was like, yeah, we're going to the hospital. So my friend's boyfriend was following us there, and he turned around like 3 times because Brittany's parents kept changing their mind on whether she could come to the hospital or not. And finally they decided she could. And she had my phone the whole time, was texting people. There were probably like 10, 15 people in the waiting room just waiting. And a couple of them were people that like I had been friends with or I was friendly with, but I wasn't extremely close to. But I thought it was so cool having like support from everyone, like even people that I wasn't like extremely close with. So I loved it. And then the next day, like my friend Brittany and her boyfriend at the time brought me chicken nuggets from McDonald's because that was the only thing I asked for. My friends had brought me like cake and cookies and flowers. Then I went home. Once I got home, like all the emotions started to hit, and I had postpartum depression really bad. And I kind of associate it with the fact that I was a teenager who had just had a baby, so my life drastically changed. But I didn't deal with that. I've always been really bad at dealing with my emotions, like really bad. And so I kind of hid it and eventually took it, like, it was bad. And I ended up like opening up to my dad and my stepmom about it, and their like reaction to it was to basically get temporary custody of my daughter. That way like I could still be a teenager. Well, I kind of agreed to it because like I said, I was dealing with postpartum depression that I didn't know how to deal with. I don't know, like, because my parents, well, my dad and my stepmom, they were great. Like, I got to have a normal high school experience. Like, I still got to go to my proms. I got to go to sleepovers. I graduated. Like, that was a big step for me because I was so far behind in school. And if it wasn't for my friends, I don't think I would have graduated. But it was nice. But I mean, I let them take temporary custody of Serenity. Well, then that temporary custody basically kind of turned into them wanting to adopt her. And again, I kind of agreed because at this point I was already in Poplar Bluff. I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was 18, 19 years old. I was interested in partying, and that's what me and my friends did at Buffalo's. And so I was never home. I never really spent time with Serenity because I guess part of it's with the postpartum depression. I kind of distanced myself from her, and my dad seemed to think that part of it was because I lost my mom when I was 7 years old, and he said that he doesn't think that I ever properly dealt with that, and that could have been part of why it hit me so hard with Serenity. I don't know, but he might have something right there. So then I got fired from Buffalo's, and that's a story for another time if you guys want to hear it. and I met Jeremy, which is my husband. And we had been dating for probably 2 months whenever I got pregnant with Faith. And basically when I got pregnant with Faith, I decided it was time to grow up. So whenever I was probably 20 weeks along whenever I told my family this time. And I think I was more scared of the fact that I hadn't been with Jeremy very long whenever me and him got pregnant, and I was scared of what they were gonna say, especially with the fact that they had Serenity. Well, whenever I told my dad asked me like what like I wanted to do like about Serenity, like, and I decided that I needed to take responsibility, so I got her back. It took like, because they didn't want me to like have to deal with like that while I was ending my pregnancy with Faith. Well, ending, that sounds bad. Whenever I was coming to the end of my pregnancy with Faith. So when Faith was like a month or 2 old was whenever they brought Serenity to me, because they had moved to South Carolina right before I had Faith. So they brought her back to me in Missouri. And I've had her ever since. And it's been great. I mean, I'm really glad that I stepped up and took my responsibility. I know I made mistakes in the past, and I was a stupid teenager who had no business getting pregnant. But I'm glad it happened. I learned a lot of things, and I'm glad that my family gave me the chance to be a mother to my daughter. But yeah, I mean, it worked out great. Now she's 9 years old. She's doing great in school. She gets honor roll. She's been on honor roll every year since she started school. So I'm very happy about it. And I know I still make mistakes, but that's obviously always going to happen. Everyone makes mistakes. But mistakes are learning experiences. So, yeah, I think that might be it. If you're curious about anything during my pregnancy story or journey, whatever, let me know in the comments below and I will answer them, or maybe make another video if you guys feel like I need to explain more that much. But yeah, so I guess that's it for this video. And I had fun just talking with you guys. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, like the video, leave me comments with suggestions of what to do next, any kind of feedback that you can think of that might help me out. Yeah, just let me know, and I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye!